Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Devon Athey and we are going to be doing a 45-minute or so Vinyasa flow yoga session this evening. And just want to start off by saying that if you are watching this video, thank you for being here, whatever brought you here. Hopefully you are here to join us in practice, join together in practice, and create a little bit of movement for yourself and create a space for you to be able to just take some you time and go inward and find some stillness amidst a movement practice, which will begin and end with a brief meditation and just moment of silence and stillness in between our movement practice. If there's ever anything within the practice that doesn't feel good for you, doesn't feel right for your body or your state of being, please feel free to modify in whatever way does feel more comfortable for you. Very important to pay attention to your inner knowing about what's going on for your body, mind, and spirit, and do whatever is necessary to provide yourself with the support that you need. Let's go ahead and close our eyes to begin. Hands can rest gently on top of the knees or maybe folded in your lap. Begin by taking a couple of cleansing breaths, whether you're doing this at the beginning of the day, starting your day off with this practice and just welcoming yourself into the day, or you've already experienced the majority of your day and you're just transitioning into evening time and sort of shaking off any of the energy that may have stuck with you throughout your day. Wherever you may be, just take some nice deep breaths, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. Finding your own rhythm here. Just allowing yourself to release any tension and drop into a space of presence. One more nice deep breath here. Inhaling, bringing fresh air into your lungs. Exhaling, feeling all of the tension just float away from your physical body. Feeling a sense of calmness, a sense of peacefulness. Drawing your attention to the darkness behind your eyelids. Noticing yourself in an inward space, going internally, inside of your being, closing out the outside world for just a moment here, tuning into your inner world, whatever that looks like, feels like, or means to you. Finding a sense of inner source, inner presence. Maybe that's somewhere in your heart area, maybe that's your abdomen, maybe it's somewhere in your mind. It's very unique and different for everyone where they find solace within. Just take a moment to tune into yourself. here. Very gently fluttering the eyes open, but really staying in an internal space, closing the eyes as much as possible throughout this process, returning to that inward space, that unique space. If you're seated on something, setting that aside, and we'll just start by finding a child's pose here. Bending our knees, sitting our sits bones down onto our heels, and folding forward, bringing the forehead to the mat, and allowing the arms to come out in front of you, stretching out, pressing the palms into the ground beneath you, closing the eyes here, bringing some depth into the breath here, calling in what we call an ujjayi breath, which is just a slight constriction in the back of the throat to create an audible sound that sounds similar to gentle ocean waves rolling in and out. And this breath is here for you to return to throughout the entire practice. Sometimes it's helpful to have that sound to remind you to come back. Taking one more nice, deep, full breath here. And exhaling completely. From here, we'll move into puppy pose, coming up onto all fours just to get into the position. And then we'll walk our hands out in front of us. We can bring our forehead to the mat, or we can come to our chin, bringing our chin to the mat, but our hips are going to be elevated up above our knees, as if you were a little puppy or a kitty who's in playful mode. Stretching the arms out in front of you, pressing the palms into the ground, feeling some opening through the shoulder girdle here. On your next inhale, walking your hands back to an tabletop position on all fours, shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. We'll move into some cat-cow position here. Inhaling, nose points up towards the ceiling. Exhaling, rounding the spine, bringing the chin to the chest. And flowing like that. Inhale, nose to the ceiling, arching the spine. Exhaling, chin to chest, round the spine. Closing the eyes if it feels good for you here as you move through a couple of breaths. One more nice deep breath here. And exhale completely. From here, bringing the hips back down to sit on the heels. We'll bring the arms out in front of us, palms pressing into one another. We'll inhale, open the arms out wide. And exhale, bring the palms back together. And we'll do a couple rounds like that, similar to what we were doing before. Inhaling, arms out wide, nose points up towards the ceiling. Exhale, rounding the spine, chin to chest, palms together. 2 more like that. Find your flow. Stay inward. From here, bringing the hands behind you, clasping the hands behind you as if you're holding your own hands, rolling the shoulders back and down, maybe just opening up to the chest in a way that feels good for you here for a moment. And let's just roll the neck around a bit, very, very gently, just from the right to the left, just rolling the chin down to the chest and then ear to shoulder. From here, on an exhale, we're going to fold forward, bringing the forehead to the mat and allowing the clasped hands to come up and overhead. Inhaling, coming back up, opening up the chest, nose points towards ceiling. And we'll take 3 of those. Exhaling, folding forward. Inhaling, back up, opening the chest. Pausing at the top here. Keep our hands behind us, pressing up our palms into the mat, fingertips pointing towards toes here, just a couple inches away from one another. Pressing the palms into the mat. On an inhale, we're going to press our hips up towards the ceiling, let our head fall back to a level that's comfortable, and open up the front body. Inhale and press up. Hold here for a couple of breaths. Just feeling the openness that this creates in the front of the body. And on your next exhale, lowering down to a seated position, we'll bring the hands in front of us onto our mat. And we'll press up into our first downward facing dog. Allowing this to be just a warm up downward dog. So keeping the knees bent, maybe alternating which knee you're bending and straightening. Maybe pressing hips side to side. And just kind of exploring in this posture here and not making it too rigid. Pedaling back and forth with the knees. On your next exhale, walking the feet up to meet the hands, coming into a forward fold. Several options here as far as what to do with your arms. You can keep your hands pressing down into the mat. Make sure to have a gentle bend in the knees here. You can clasp opposite elbows, maybe sway side to side. Maybe clasp the hands behind the neck, creating some traction. Just explore and find what feels good for you here. Bringing the hands down to the mat if they're not already. And inhaling, coming halfway up, flat back. Exhale, folding forward. And inhaling, sweeping the arms all the way up and overhead, palms together. Exhaling, bringing the hands to the center of your chest, into your heart center area, closing the eyes here, and tuning into the same inner space that you did in the beginning meditation, finding the darkness within you, the place that is comfortable and warm and supportive and calm. And just staying steadily present with yourself here for a moment of pause. Maybe you feel like setting an intention for your practice. Maybe you don't. Bringing the hands down by the sides, finding mountain pose here. We'll take 3 half salutations to begin to warm up and really synchronize the breath with the movement. Inhaling, sweeping the arms up and overhead. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms sweep up and overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. 2 more like this. Find your flow, close your eyes. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. And fold. Inhale, arms all the way up and overhead. Exhale, hands to heart. 1 more like this, to your own rhythm. Inhale, up. Fold. Halfway. And fold. And all the way up. We'll take more of a complete salutation this time. Inhale, arms all the way up. And fold. Halfway up. And step back into plank, holding plank here for several breaths. Find your foundation, activate your core, activate your arms and your legs. Press firmly with your palms into the mat. Press your toes into the mat. Hold steady here, hugging the abdomen in towards the spine, breathing easy. If you'd like to make this easier, you can bring your knees down to the mat. 1 more breath here on the exhale. We'll come down. Inhale. Exhale, slowly lower yourself down to your belly. Pausing here for a moment. Untucking the toes. Inhale, we'll press up into a baby cobra, pressing the palms in, engaging the glutes and the low back. Exhaling, coming down, chin to the mat. We'll take that again. Inhaling, pressing up into a cobra, maybe going slightly deeper. Very important to engage the glutes here. Exhaling, coming down. And pressing back up onto knees first, and then all the way up into a downward facing dog. We'll find more of a steady downward facing dog here than we did previously. If your heels are able to plant firmly into the mat, planting them. If they're slightly raised above the mat, that's absolutely fine. A gentle bend in the knees. Sacrum points up towards the back corner of the room behind you. And 1 nice deep breath here, inhaling deeply. Exhaling completely. Inhaling full. And on your exhale, either walking or hopping back, feet to meet hands at the front of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, sweeping the arms all the way up and overhead. Exhale, hands to heart. Going to start to warm things up now. We're going to start to flow. As I mentioned, if you need to modify anything or rest and come into a simple child's pose, please feel free to find what feels best for you. Inhale, arms up above the head. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, step into plank. We'll hold plank for 3 breaths here. Staying strong, staying engaged, staying steady and sturdy here. On your next exhale, lowering yourself down to your belly, inhaling straight up into a cobra or an upward facing dog. Exhaling, pressing back, downward facing dog. Inhale, raise that right leg up towards the back corner of the room. Exhale, step that leg forward between the hands. We'll find a lunge here. Finding your foundation, finding your root system here, planting the feet firmly into the mat. On an inhale, we'll sweep our arms up, coming into a crescent lunge. Gaze is gently up towards the fingertips. On your next exhale, bringing your hands down to the mat, keeping that left hand planted, sweeping that right arm up towards the ceiling in a twist. Exhale, bring that hand back down to the mat, step that right foot back, downward facing dog. Inhale, sweep that left leg up behind you. Exhale, step it forward between the hands, finding your foundation here. Inhaling, sweeping the arms up, coming into crescent lunge. Exhale, hands down to the mat, keep the right hand planted, left hand lifts towards the ceiling, twist. Exhale, left hand comes down. That left foot steps back, downward facing dog. Pedal it out here. On your next exhale, walking or hopping, feet to the front of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, arms up and overhead. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, plank posture. Lower all the way down to your belly. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg sweeps up towards the ceiling, holding it here, bending at the knee, and just rotating that knee and that leg around in the hip joint. Just making some circles with the knee. Taking it both directions at your own pace. From here, we'll take three-legged crunches. Exhaling, bringing that knee to nose. Inhale, kick that leg back. Exhale, knee to nose. Kick back. Exhale, knee to nose. And step that foot forward, coming into another lunge. And from here, planting that left foot at a 45-degree angle. We'll windmill our arms open to a T. Find our first warrior 2 of the practice. Finding a solid foundation, making sure that front knee is not collapsing inward towards the front of the body, rather pressing out towards the back side of the body. Shoulders are rolled back and down. Core is gently engaged. Your next inhale, bring that left hand down along the left leg, reaching the right arm up towards the ceiling, reaching up, feeling a nice stretch through the right side body, really sending some nice deep breaths into the chest, the rib, the hip area here. On your next exhale, coming back to warrior two, holding here for one breath. Exhaling, windmilling the hands down to the mat, kicking that right foot back into downward facing dog. And we'll take that on the opposite side. On your next inhale, sweeping that left leg up towards the back corner of the room, bending at the knee and making some circles in the hip socket. From here, coming back to neutral, keeping that left leg kicked up. We'll do 3 crunches here. Exhale, knee to nose. Kick back. Exhale, knee to nose. And back. And knee to nose. And step that foot forward to find your lunge. Finding your foundation here. When you're ready, planting that back foot at a 45-degree angle, windmilling the arms open, finding warrior two. Gaze is over the front fingertips. Taking a few moments of breath here, feeling the body heat up, feeling your muscles kick into gear and activate as we warm things up. From here, your next exhale, bring that right hand down along the right leg, stretching that left arm up towards the ceiling. Gaze follows the fingertips and feeling the openness in the left side body here, sending that breath all along the left side of the torso. Your next inhale, coming back up to warrior two for a brief breath here. Exhaling, windmilling the arms down to meet the mat, stepping that left foot back, downward facing dog. We'll take 2 breaths here. Let's take another breath here that's a sigh out through the mouth, inhaling through the nose and letting it out the mouth. We'll do one more like that. Inhaling, exhaling, walking or hopping the feet up to the front of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, arms sweep up and over the head. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, step back to plank, lower all the way down to your belly. Inhaling, finding upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg sweeps up towards the ceiling. Exhale, it steps forward to find a lunge, planting that back foot 45 degrees. Opening the arms out, finding warrior two. Inhaling, that back hand comes down along the back leg. Right arm reaches up towards the ceiling. Exhaling, coming forward, side angle pose. Option to keep the elbow on top of the knee gently, or bringing it down in front on the inside of that right foot. Left arm reaches up and over towards the front of the room, palm faces behind you. Opening through the left side body here. Staying with your breath, staying engaged and activated. Inhaling, sweeping back up to warrior two. Inhale, bringing that back hand down along back leg, right arm reaches up towards the ceiling. Exhale, coming forward, side angle. Inhale, coming back. And exhale, forward. One more like that. Inhaling back and open. And exhale, coming forward. Inhaling back up to warrior two. Exhaling, bringing the hands back down to the mat, stepping back, downward facing dog. Take a breath here, pedal it out, find what you need. If you need to take a child's pose here, it's yours. On your next inhale, sweeping that left leg back and up. Exhale, stepping it forward, finding a lunge. Planting that back foot. Opening the arms, warrior two. From here, coming forward, either bringing your elbow to the top of your knee or hand all the way down to your mat. Right arm comes up and overhead as your pinky twists downward and the palm faces behind you. Gaze is towards your fingertips. Inhaling, coming back up to warrior two. Holding here for one breath before we flow through the motions. Inhaling back, hand down along back leg, right arm reaches up, left arm. Exhale, left arm comes forward, side angle. Two more like that, coming up and back. Exhale, coming forward. Up and back. And forward. Back up to warrior two. Exhaling, windmilling those hands down, stepping back, downward facing dog here. Inhale, that right leg sweeps up towards the back corner of the room. Exhale, step that forward, foot forward between your hands. Planting that back foot, 45-degree angle, opening up warrior two. Straightening that front leg. We'll find triangle, bringing that torso over the front leg and coming down, bringing your hand either to your shin or to the inside of your foot. Left arm reaches up towards the ceiling. Gaze looks up at the left fingertips. One more nice deep breath here. On your next inhale, coming back up, arms out to a T, bending that front knee. Pausing here in warrior two. Your next inhale, straightening that front leg again, coming forward, finding triangle for a brief moment here. We'll step that back foot forward just a couple hops until it wants to come off the ground. Weight goes into the front right foot and hand as that left leg comes out to a 90-degree angle, arms out to a T, half moon. Staying steady with your breath, playing with your balance, feeling a little bit of a wiggle and a wobble and knowing that is completely natural. Allowing yourself to be where you are while also exploring where you can be. On your next exhale, step that left foot back to the mat. Knee stays bent here, windmilling the arms. Warrior two. And bringing the arms, the hands down to the mat, stepping that right foot back, downward facing dog. couple of breaths here. On your next inhale, that left leg sweeps up and back. Exhale, steps forward between the hands, planting that right foot at 45 degrees, windmilling the arms, opening up to a T, warrior two. Straightening that front leg here, shifting the torso over that left leg, bringing the hand down either to shin or all the way down to the mat. Right arm reaches up towards the ceiling. Staying steady with your breath, staying within yourself. Allowing yourself to be in practice, in flow, and in presence with yourself. On your next inhale, coming all the way up, arms out to a T. We'll bend the knee again, find warrior two briefly. Straightening that front leg again, bringing the torso over, hand down, brief moment in triangle here before hopping that left foot forward until it comes, right foot forward until it comes up and off the mat. Weight goes into the left foot and fingertips. Right arm reaches up towards the ceiling. Engage to the core, feeling strong in that left leg as it creates balance for you. Even if you wobble, even if you fall, just get back up and keep exploring. On your next exhale, stepping that right foot back onto the mat, coming up into warrior two, and bringing the hands down to the mat, stepping back, downward facing dog. And from here, walking or hopping the feet up to meet your hands in a forward fold. We'll clasp opposite elbows here and just sway side to side. Inhaling, sweeping arms all the way up and overhead. Exhale, hands to heart. Close the eyes here. Draw yourself back inward into your unique internal space and just be still here. Let the sound of your ocean wave breath continue to carry you steadily through your practice. Lowering the arms by your sides here. We'll take two balancing postures. We'll start with tree. We'll start by planting the right foot firmly into the mat as we start to bring that left leg, foot and leg up and off the ground. Option to keep your foot pressed into the inside of your shin or all the way up into the inner thigh. Foot presses firmly into thigh. Thigh presses firmly back into foot. That will keep your balance steady and sturdy. If your legs are strong, your balance will be stronger. If and when you're ready, arms come up and overhead. Allowing your breath to come with you every step of the way. For those of you who would like to stay here, this feels like a good place for you to be exploring. Please continue to stay here and explore your balance. For those who would like it to take it further into eagle pose, we'll exhale, bring the arms out to a T. Lift that left foot away from the inner thigh. Slight bend in the right knee. Cross that left leg over the right as if you're sitting at a dinner table, and wrap that left foot all the way around to the inside of the right calf. From here, we'll sweep our right arm underneath our left and come all the way around until palms press into one another. Staying focused, staying sturdy, feeling the natural movement and flow that arises when we seek balance. If you fall out of the posture, allow yourself to provide yourself with a gentle smile, maybe even a giggle, and just find your way back in. On your next inhale, opening up the arms and the legs, and allowing feet and hands to come down, taking a pause here in mountain pose, maybe pedaling out the legs a bit. And we'll take that on the opposite side, planting that left foot, picking the right foot up, bringing it wherever on the leg feels good for you, pressing firmly, thigh into foot, foot into thigh. Finding a focal point can help you stay steady and balance, something steady to look at, to gaze at. If and when you're ready, arms come up and overhead. Tuning into the nature of a tree here, strong and sturdy with its trunk, though often feeling the effects of the wind, allowing that trunk to sway around and continue to seek deeper roots in order to find balance. If you'd like to take it to the next stage, exhaling, bringing the arms down, picking that right foot away from the thigh, crossing it over left and wrapping it all the way around. That left arm comes underneath the right arm and wraps all the way around until palms press into one another. One more nice deep breath here. Inhaling, unwinding, and coming back to mountain pose, taking a brief moment here, pedaling out the legs. From here, we'll inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, step back, lower down. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Cleansing breath through the mouth here. And on your next exhale, coming down to your knees, allowing your feet to come out in front of you. We'll come to a seated posture here. Keeping your knees bent and your feet planted, lying down onto the mat. From here, we'll do just a little bit of focused core work. We'll start by picking the legs up and off the mat, bringing them out to a 90-degree angle here, clasping the hands behind the head, supporting the base of the head and the top of the neck area. And we'll take some bicycle crunches here. Right elbow meets left knee, right foot goes out wide. And exhaling, left elbow meets right knee, left foot kicks out front. Find your own rhythm here, find your own pace. Very, very important to make sure that you are engaging entirely through the core here. Your abdominal muscles are doing this work for you. Not your neck, not your head, not your arms. Really firing up that core. Just Just a few more here. If you need to pause, feel free. I encourage you to challenge yourself. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Plant the feet back onto the mat, knees stay bent. Taking a brief moment of pause here. And again, we'll find our hands clasped behind our head. We'll bring the bottoms of our feet together. Let our knees fall out wide, keeping the feet and legs elevated off of the ground several inches. We're going to exhale and crunch and bring our elbows and knees towards one another. Inhale, we're going to open up wide, keeping elbows and knees off of the ground. Exhaling, crunch, knees to elbows. Inhale, open wide. We'll take a couple like that. Three more, you can do this. One more, make it count. And exhale, release the hands, feet come back to the mat. From here, we'll cross that right leg over the left. Allow those knees to fall over to the left side. Gaze looks over towards the right fingertips. Gentle twist in the spine, releasing abdomen. Your next inhale, bringing those knees back up, unwrapping the legs, and finding that on the opposite side, left leg over right. Knees fall to the right, gaze to the left. Option to close your eyes here. Tuning back into that inward space. Your next inhale, knees come back up to center, unwrapping the legs. And from here, bringing the knees into the chest, clasping around the knees as if you're giving yourself a hug. Just roll side to side, right to left side. And then from here, grabbing the backs of the thighs underneath the knees, and we're just going to roll along our spine here a couple of times. And on your next time coming forward, you'll come all the way up to a seated position. Have the legs out long in front of you along the mat, removing any extra skin from underneath the sits bones. Hips planted firmly, legs outstretched in front of you. Inhale, sitting up tall. Exhale, hinging at the hips and beginning to fold forward here. And just feeling into this edge, this subtle edge here where it feels like you're really tuning into a nice stretch in the back body, back of the legs, low back. And once you've kind of found a good edge to hold steady with, you're welcome to round the upper part of the spine forward as well. Coming into a forward fold, closing the eyes, keeping the Ujjayi breath alive, but it's very gentle, it's very subtle at this point in the practice. And just starting to slow down
releasing the heat and the momentum. One more nice full breath here. On your next inhale, slowly pressing yourself back up to seated. Move into cobbler's pose here. Bending the knees, bringing the bottoms of the feet together, knees come out wide. This can be a challenging posture for those who don't have super open hips, and can often help to have a block or even just some sort of pillow to place underneath the knees here. Wherever you're at, just finding solid foundation here. Feet can be as close into your body or as far out from your body as feels good for you today. Inhaling, sitting nice and tall, stretching the spine up towards the ceiling. Exhaling, hinging from the hips and folding forward. Once you've reached a point that feels good in your hip opening, you're allowed to go ahead and let that upper spine round forward. Just resting your head, even if you're not all the way down to the ground, you can stack your fists, giving yourself a homemade pillow, closing your eyes, and just feeling a gentle opening here, just softening into this opening. Next inhale, gently pressing yourself back up to a seated position. Gently assisting your legs to come out in front of you on the mat. And just gently making your way all the way down into a reclined position as we find our final resting posture of the practice, Shavasana. Shoulder blades come gently together, feet are either hip width apart or even further if you're feeling like having a little bit more of a wide posture today. Arms can be down by the sides or can be out to a T. It's totally up to you. Really wanting to settle into something that's very peaceful and comfortable for you these next couple of moments as you close your eyes and find a place of stillness and surrender as you allow the ground beneath you to just support you entirely. Just for a few moments here of your day, this is complete effortlessness is the invitation. Total surrender. Finding a space of absolute nothingness, stillness, silence, restoration. Doing a quick body scan, noticing if there's any areas that are still holding on to some tension, some engagement. maybe your temples, maybe your jaw, maybe your legs, maybe your hips. Just taking a moment to just see if there's anything that's attempting to be effortful right now. And just inviting all of that to soften completely. Become just a weight being supported by the ground beneath you. Your mind begins to drift into a place of thought. Just bring it back to your breath, to your center, to your stillness. And just surrender and be still. Gently at your own pace, making your way over to one side, finding a fetal position here, maybe using the arm as a pillow. Just resting on your side here, curling into yourself. Very gently and slowly pressing your way back up to a seated position, keeping the eyes as closed as possible. If you'd like to bring something underneath your hips to sit on, be here just for a moment. And just as we began, closing the eyes, sitting up tall, hands can be resting on the knees or folded in the lap, closing the eyes, tuning inward. Giving yourself an invitation to extract any elements of peacefulness that may have been created for you. Maybe there were challenging pieces, maybe it was a struggle, maybe it was easy, maybe it was supportive. It could have been anything on the spectrum of the human experience may have arisen for you during your practice. And now as you sit steady, what can you extract and extrapolate that feels helpful, useful, supportive? You can carry on for the remainder of your day or your evening. What gems exist within you? Bringing your palms pressed together in front of your heart. Bringing your palms up to your forehead and bowing forward. And just an expression of gratitude Gratitude for all of the things that you do have that are working for you, that are serving you. Gratitude for this opportunity to be living your life. Gratitude to yourself for showing up to practice. Inhaling, you can come back up to seated, bringing the hands back down to your heart. I am grateful to be able to share this practice. Thank you for showing up. Namaste.